SLENDERMAN has been cast in the official Marble Hornets movie. Who is it?
I hope you have a Netflix subscription because we're getting Marvel shows on it.
And a very sad moment because we're going to have a moment of silence for a very special friend tonight on PMI.
Today is Friday, November 8th, 2013. Welcome to Pretty Much It. How's it going, boys?
It's been better. I want to apologize to a friend for a horrible thing I did to his baby. I'm so sorry.
And Jake, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
We do have a review this week, and it is for Thor: The Dark World. You're going to have to go check that out. What we also have is linked in the info, Addison's new single called Nervous Man in a $4 Room. Take a quick listen.
I'm so anxious, I can't sedate this. This is not who I wanna be.
Now, if you don't know, Addison is the guy that does our theme music here on Pretty Much It, so definitely go and check it out. Share the love. It is really, really good. It's very
really
catchy.
cool.
You guys check it out.
He's a great guy, and he introduced me to waffle sandwiches.
By the way, for anyone that did not see last week, we did announce officially that PMI 3.0 launches on November 29th. So don't you question when it launches, because I just told you. Now, we usually begin with, Marvel or DC news. We got some Superman, superhero, super spider news, whatever. But before we get into that, because we do have two stories there, we're going to talk about the thing that I've been bombarded about the most this week. And if you can't guess, it's Saw 8. Now, this is a thing that's been expected. I've known that this day would come.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So is everybody, I think.
Yeah, it was either going to be a reboot, which is just unbelievable to think about them doing it without Tobin Bell as Jigsaw. That's almost comical. Or a sequel after the final chapter. So an epilogue. But I guess this is happening. They're officially putting this thing into works because it is the most profitable horror franchise of all time, as far as I know.
Even the Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, it actually beat it, because think about the fact that ticket prices have gone up, you know what I mean? So it's technically more profitable. But
remember the Freddy Krueger movie where the kids all had superpowers?
Dream Warriors!
Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah! That was the best.
Jake screams it. Yeah, that's the best one!
Dream Warriors!
Maybe they'll have superpowers in Saw 8. I couldn't tell you. And I also couldn't care less, because it's pointless. Saw 7 was such an abysmal, awful movie that who gives a shit what happens after this? It's all done.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on Saw 8. I don't care.
I know you've got a special love for Saw in your heart, Eric. But
well, the first three.
Yeah, but it's the general public all hate Saw. Anytime anybody, I like Saw. I like the first.
Wait a minute. The general public hates Saw. They went out in droves and made it the most successful.
No. Now, if I'm talking about if you go on the internet now, I'm talking about now. If you go on the internet, it's like, oh, Saw sucks.
That is not the general public. That's movie fans.
Oh, okay, all right. A very large amount of people I've come across. Sorry for the generalization, Eric.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's the problem here is that people will go see it in droves. So they will just keep making these effing movies, but it's like it's been driven into the ground. It's ruined.
I'm just convinced that Saw went from a smart people movie to a dumb people movie.
It did. It really did. But I don't think it did until after the third one, because if you watch the third one is like a drama. It's got like I'm pretty sure this isn't a spoiler anymore, but they kill off their main character. Like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they still continued it.
Like, do you think that should have been the ending?
Absolutely, that is the ending. That is the ending as far as any real fan is concerned, because that's when Lee Winnell and James Wan intended it for it to end. They wanted it to end, and so they killed the main character.
In the sequel, they're not going to have the same thing, right? They're probably going to have a new thing, and it's.
You never know, because it was the same thing for what happens is after the third one. It was a guy going through multiple traps and meeting multiple people along the way, if you remember. Yeah. But that was the first time they did that. Every single one from the fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one, and seventh one, all of them after the third one, they did the exact same thing in every single movie. It was one person going through multiple traps, basically.
If you look at me in a little thumbnail, I look like Norman Reedus.
But now let's move on to the super news about superheroes and stuff. We've got Superman, Batman, and Superman.
Superman?
Yes. Now, El Mayimbe just dropped this scoop. It took him like 2 days to shoot this video. I was getting real effing antsy, I'll tell you that much.
I hate when you drop scoops.
Because he posted, he was like, I'm about to film the video for the scoop. When he could just tweet it. He could tweet it. But he's like, I'm about to film the video for the scoop. And then he's like, you know, an hour later, I'm thinking he's editing it, about to post it. And then he, like, shows a picture of him and a dog. And he's like, should the dog join me? And I'm like, just do it! Just do it! And so what he said was, this could have been a tweet, a damn tweet. Nightwing apparently is going to make an appearance in Batman and Superman. According to him. Not always right, but he is right pretty often, so it's worth looking into.
It would make sense.
But, I mean, like...
No, it doesn't.
Knowing what
it does. If it's supposed to be an older Batman, it would have to. That would mean that Robin grew up, right?
Okay.
It makes sense on that level, on a story level, but it also makes sense on a desperation level, in my opinion, because DC is just desperate to go crazy.
Yeah, and now there's rumors of Wonder Woman being in there.
So it's like, you know, okay, throw everybody in it. Who cares at this point? Because you're obviously just doing this to try to match the Avengers.
It's too little, too late, in my opinion.
Because, but it's going to end up being, but to combat that, they're going to make it too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we always sound like, and I understand when we're saying this, but then like when they add things to Marvel movies, we're excited. It sounds like we're just, you know, shitting on DC and we're loving Marvel, but it's just that
like we're explaining
done it so well. They've done it so well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to Batman and Superman. It's going to be a crazy spectacle. I can't freaking wait. But at the same time, I'm not, like, surprised that they're putting Nightwing in. I wouldn't be surprised if they put in Wonder Woman. I wouldn't be surprised if they put in everybody at this point. So,
yeah, there's no, like, Marvel's a lot better at continuity.
And the strategy. I think the strategy is better. But then again, the whole point here is that they've done it over time, and DC's trying to catch up now. So how much strategy can they have? What they should do is do something completely different, which I thought they were doing with their TV shows, but they're still kind of like, I don't know, they're still really not getting it with the movies. They're doing it wrong. It doesn't feel right. I don't know. It's weird.
It's a goddamn shame, too.
And now let's switch from DC to Marvel. We've got a quick bit of information. It's not Marvel, it's Fox Marvel. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is true. I read the headline, and I had to do a double take.
What is it, Eric? I haven't heard it yet.
There's another Wolverine movie in the works.
Oh, man.
He's the moneymaker, baby. He
is. Yeah. You know what? I guess, yeah, it's not surprising in that regard. But the good news is James Mangold is directing it, and he did a good job with the Wolverine. I thought that any flaws were really more so in the writing. Yeah. I thought he did a damn good job with the directing. So I
love the Wolverine.
How many? It's like Days of Future Past. Wolverine is pretty much the main character. Yes.
Yeah, this is the next Wolverine movie almost.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what they could possibly do. I mean, let us know in the comments, what story would you like to see? You know, I mean, okay, we all want to see a hard R Wolverine movie, but we're never going to get that. So that being said, what would you like to see?
I'd like to see his origins done right. I could see a couple of things.
You want to see an origin movie again?
They're not gonna
I want to see it done right. God damn it! You know how cool?
It's like they did his origin in the original X-Men movies, and then they doubled back.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but there was
how many times do you want to see Wolverine get injected with the metal juice?
There's this whole part where he's like in the woods naked hunting wolves. Just cause.
That's what you really think is lacking from the current X-Men Jake is Wolverine.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
Wolverine the Gray.
Exactly. Yep.
But that's it for Super News. Let's move on to Slender News.
Like the Slender Man.
Yes, we have some news about the official Marble Hornets movie. First of all, the big thing to note here, before we get into what I think is very exciting news, you know, Troy, I believe it was Troy, updated his blog and said, we already shot the movie. The movie is already shot, apparently.
What?
Done. They had like a secret trip to LA that they did mention. I do remember them mentioning it, but I thought it was just meetings. They already shot the damn movie. It's done. So,
well, how hard can it be, I guess. You know?
Now they're just working on post and they're working on stuff like that. Now, it's not, you know, like Marble Hornets is culminating in a movie. It's not like the finale of Marble Hornets. Marble Hornets is ending after season 3. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up. I haven't been keeping up.
No, it's maybe like that because they were working on this secret movie is why the show has been pretty boring for...
It got a little bit dragged out, I would say.
It got very dragged out.
Well, the movie, though, is going to be, like, separate to it. So it's, you know, it's similar stuff, but it's not in that... technically in the storyline, apparently. But the person playing Slender Man, we might have even mentioned this person on the show. I don't remember because this is the absolute perfect person to play Slenderman, or the operator, if you will, because technically it's Marble Hornets, it's the operator. Doug Jones is Slenderman. Is Slenderman in this? And if you don't know who Doug Jones is, look him up on IMDb. He is abnormally tall. He's thin. He has long fingers. He is Slenderman. He basically is Slenderman.
Yeah, but it's like I really don't see like. It's like he's not gonna have a face, right? So
No, not face-wise, just physically.
they could have. I mean, all right, they could have gotten anybody for that though. I mean,
I don't know, man. He has this movement. I saw him in person. He did this like interpretive dance poetry thing, and just the way he moves is very spooky.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's kind of just a creepy guy.
I think this is perfect.
He's a really creepy looking guy.
But he's a really nice guy. He's a very nice guy. So
Well,
I feel like we're
I don't
saying
know
he's
that.
really creepy, but he's a nice guy.
Slenderman's gonna show up and say, "Hey kids, I'm here to spook you."
Yeah, I don't want to just say that he's a goddamn creep in general,
But he is.
I think that it is perfect. I'm really glad they got him, and I am super excited about that. I think that's going to be terrifying.
Well, I remember thinking like when I first started watching Marble Hornets, like if they're gonna do a movie, it's gotta be like it can't just be like a normal narrative movie. It's gotta be like a documentary, mockumentary, spoof kind of
And
like
I'm
joke.
assuming it will be.
It
I
has
don't
to be
know.
something like that because like just like a normal story just wouldn't work.
No, like normal camera angles and stuff.
Yeah, it couldn't be like that. What made it so great at the beginning, I thought, was like when it was very young, it was very interactive with the fan base. Like they put out like a lot of clues and a lot of stuff to decipher and shit like that.
You remember you played along, didn't you?
Yeah. Like
You guys- I found my tweet when he was going when the character was going to check something out, and I tweeted to him like, "Be careful! Click the link in the info to check it out." That's how interactive it was. We were playing along with it.
There's subliminal messages that you could only find in videos if you downloaded them from YouTube. Like it was like really like it's like intricate stuff, and it was fun. So they just got to find a way to make that neat for the movie.
Yes, I agree.
Robots.
Robots. Slenderman is actually a robot, and at the end, it turns out it's like his chest opens and there's a little man piloting it, like a Man in Black.
Scrappy Doo is inside.
Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo's inside.
Next, we've got some news about Star Wars Episode 7. This is pretty brief because it's kind of just like it's a sort of a rumor, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'll tell you why. Now, a reporter recently went to talk to J.J. Abrams at his office at Bad Robot, I guess, about S, that book, that they did the little teaser for.
Yeah.
His hovering domain.
Well, guess who was sitting there?
George Lucas.
No.
George.
He turns
Even if
around
was,
and he's
that wouldn't
like,
be much of a scoop.
no.
Sitting there in the office was Chiwetel Ejiofor, if that's how you pronounce it, who is probably going to be nominated for an Oscar for 12 Years a Slave. He's a very good actor.
Oh, I like him.
Yes, and so, of course, immediately the person they had to ask J.J. Abrams, is, Chiwetel Ejiofor being looked at for Star Wars Episode 7? And J.J. Abrams apparently just said, well, I don't know about that, but I will say he's a really good actor. So, that's one thing. Now, that's pretty vague, and that could mean anything, but the reason that I feel like it's a little bit more than just a rumor, I do feel like he's being looked at, although in all fairness, everybody's being looked at. We've talked about a million people,
This is
so
the new Star Wars.
the fact that you're being looked at doesn't mean too much, but he was actually being interviewed about maybe 12 Years a Slave, I'm not sure, on some red carpet or something somewhere, some junket, and he was asked by a reporter, Chiwetel Ejiofor, again, if I'm pronouncing that right, and his response I thought was interesting. The person said, are you being looked at, are you, what would you say if J.J. Abrams asked you to be in Star Wars Episode 7? And his response was, well, I'm not going to tell you that. Which is kind of like, okay, he kind of made it like, I obviously can't tell you that, when the response should have been, that would be awesome, because everybody would say that would be awesome, so it's kind of weird.
He goes, I'm contractually obligated not to tell you that.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. What a weird response. But I would be down with that. I think he'd fit in very well. That would be some high caliber acting right there.
He would fit in perfectly as a Jedi. I could just picture him in Jedi robes.
Hell yes, absolutely, hell yes.
As Samuel Jack Smith's son.
He'd be Samuel Jack's son. Speaking of J.J. Abrams, and I guess projects he's abandoning, Star Trek. Now,
Killed
apparently,
it.
he won't be doing Star Trek 3 because he is doing Star Wars. I don't think that it's a contract thing necessarily so much as it is a timing thing.
He'll consume the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's really going to. But the interesting news this week is that apparently, now this is not an official thing, but apparently being looked at to direct is Joe Cornish, who you will know as the director of Attack the Block.
That would be
Interesting.
pretty effing neat.
Because, I mean, that I'd like to see how they would handle. You know, I actually would have rather seen him do Star Wars in that sense because I would have liked to see how he would handle all of that. But Star Trek, you know, similar type of thing. So, you know, his style was
that
different.
makes me
that's
think
for
it's
sure.
gonna be like a creature movie. Like they're gonna be fighting monsters.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything is different with this guy. He did the practical monsters, which were beautiful in Attack the Block. He did just had an interesting style in general, an interesting humor that I think could fit in Star Trek. You know, because it is kind of humorous already, so that's kind of cool. I'd be down for it.
I think it's pretty cool. Then that's like I give it the Mike pretty cool rating.
As of January 2014, we'd like to have a moment of silence for officially closing all stores, Blockbuster. So if you guys will join me, just bow your head, think about the good times. Let's just take a moment of silence. Here we go.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
Did Blockbuster have porn?
It had a mature section, but I don't think it had porn.
Good riddance. But we do have one TV story that is a big story that actually just dropped recently, I think this morning, right before shooting this.
Yep.
We woke up to the news that Marvel and Disney are teaming up with Netflix to do 4 like 13-episode series, full series.
Yeah, we talked
on
about this.
Netflix. Did we talk about this?
Yeah, we said there was going to be 4 new shows coming. We didn't know
we
what they were,
we
though.
did, but we didn't
Yeah, we
didn't
know.
know who it was. That's the news, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. I was going to say it did sound familiar. So we did say that they were doing this. Now we know that it is Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, and it's going to culminate, in a miniseries, The Defenders. That's what we've got. What do you guys think?
It's well, first of all, like the first thing that came to mind is that I loosely know like Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I thought they were like a team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So shouldn't they
do
like
work
and they're
together
making
a
separate
lot.
shows?
I don't know. Maybe it'll be like maybe they'll be like inter.
But then like they're all going to
together.
meet up at the end in the Defenders.
I guess.
Because they go together like you know, like lamb and tuna fish. So like,
Yeah, Jake.
What
But
did you say?
I-
Lamb and tuna fish?
Can I express how excited I am about this? Because
Yeah, we'll just.
I mean, like I understand, like all right,
You said lamb and tuna fish, right?
the people need to like they've been burned by Daredevil. So you know, we
But
gotta
you love
wait
it
for him
so
to get
much.
another movie. He's got to work his way back up. So give him a TV show.
Lamb and tuna fish is what you said, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Well, for Daredevil fans out there, correct me if I'm wrong. What I hear on the comic book circuit is that the current Daredevil comic books for the last couple of years have been like outstandingly amazing. I don't read them,
Mostly.
but like
Yeah.
I hear people say like the art and the story are all like fantastically amazing. So I think he already is getting that cred with the fans. So maybe they're
All right.
going to run off of that.
And I think I just really hope that they all feel really different from one another. I think that is going to be the most important thing.
Well, it's like
for the
Luke
shows.
Cage is pretty much just like a strong black guy.
Yeah, I mean,
That's his power.
his skin is made of steel, and that's cool.
Aren't all black people's skin made of steel, though?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to ponder it because guess what time it is?
Commercial break time?
Yeah.
Wait, we
That's
had
right,
a commercial
Jake.
break.
Say it louder.
Wait, what?
Say it louder, Jake.
Wait, what?
No, say what we're doing.
Wait, what?
Commercial break!
Oh. Hey, welcome back to Pretty Much It. Hey, friends, you guys ready to talk about video games?
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk about video games. Is Eric?
Yeah.
Do you like video games?
Go.
Okay.
All right. Well, oh man, what are we gonna talk about?
You have nothing?
No, I do. Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. We're never gonna see him again because he was awful.
Ah, shit.
And that's kind of officially from the writers of Assassin's
No,
Creed.
no, he was good. I liked him.
Did you really? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You don't even know what that is. You know how the writer said it though. The writer said it in an AMA. They were like, "Oh, are we gonna see any more of Connor?" And he goes, "I think his story is better left told to Tumblr."
What is there, like gay fan fiction about him or something?
I don't know. I want to go look.
Don't do it, please. Don't do it.
Hey guys.
Hey, Jake.
You already said that with the first news.
Yeah, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare Ghosts. You can find it online. There's a side-by-side comparison of a cutscene from the beginning of the game with the ending of one of the Modern Warfare games, and it's like shot for shot, almost animation for animation, the same thing, just reskinned.
Well, now that's lazier because video games are all about the experience, you know, that's the main focus. That what a cool thing that happened, and now it's like, oh wow, the exact same thing is happening again. Why am I playing this?
It was like, come on, we got knocked down. I gotta help you up. We gotta get to the helicopter. It was like the same exact thing, like.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's kind of like in those old Disney movies when it's like the same animation used again, but with a different character.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So I thought that was really funny.
Hey,
and,
I mean, it's Call of Duty. Does anybody
it's nothing
really
new. It's definitely nothing new.
No, and I guess, man, Call of Duty, man, phoning it in. I don't know. They got.
Yeah, you would think with Call of Duty they'd have the money to not do that shit, right?
Yeah, I know. That's the most absurd part. I don't know.
That's just saving money. It's like, where can we save at the cost of a good game?
Maybe we could turn some lights out, boss. The office is really well lit.
Candlelit game office.
Hey guys,
Yo, Jake.
I really like
the third, fourth time.
Starting everything with hey. That's awful. I need to come up with really good segues like you, Eric. Speaking of chair, Metal Gear Solid.
Speaking of what?
A chair, like a chair.
All right, a very good reference to the game, Jake.
We finally have word that the first part of the whole Metal Gear Solid 5 thing, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, is going to be released as a standalone game in the spring, separate from the whole other Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. It's going to be like a $20 download or a $30 disc, or depending on what platform you download it on, and it's going to be basically like a setup for the game that's going to come out later on, which is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. So that's interesting. It's really weird that they're doing that, but I'm all on board because I am just a complete Metal Gear fanboy who will.
It sounds a little convoluted, or do you think you just explained it a little bit rough?
It sounds video games because it is, because it's Metal Gear. The logic behind it from series creator Hideo Kojima, he was like, well, we're doing a lot of crazy new things in this game, so we think we need a game before the game to introduce people to how different things are.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
That's probably a good idea, because a lot of people are already saying, this doesn't look like my Metal Gear. So if they just released it and then everyone was like, oh my god, this is bullshit, that could have a lot of negative impact on their markets.
Yeah.
But they probably are going to put this little thing out there so people have a better idea of, so this is this Metal Gear biz.
Kind of easing them into it.
Yeah.
All right, hey, I mean, I'm not going to play it, so I have no stake in this, but it makes sense.
I see a lot of people complaining how expensive it is.
What?
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
What? No, what?
Am I here?
Hello? Hello? Jake?
You cut off. I'm right here.
What? Oh, Jake, hi.
I have seen a lot of people complaining, though, about the price. Like, apparently it's a lot. And people are calling it, it's $20, $30 for a glorified tutorial, essentially. But
they don't know that. They don't know how. Did they say how long it's gonna be?
It's gonna be like substantial. It has to be.
Well, yeah. If it's worth, I remember Ratchet and Clank did this. Like right before, they had a big game come out, they had a little downloadable game that was an in between, and that was a couple bucks. I don't remember how much, but it was worth it. You were getting the game, a little bit of it, like a prequel.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple hours. It's like one mission. It's like one big long mission in one big open-ended environment. So it's like a sandbox.
Yeah. I mean, unless I can understand until they see footage when they can say if the $30 is worth it, but
It's essentially going to be. Remember the first Metal Gear trailer that we got, and it was raining.
well, yeah,
And he's like, meh.
Meh.
That's what this is gonna be.
horses. But oh no, like when he was snooping around.
Snooping around. He was snoping around, and he had the goggles, and he lifted them up, and he's like, because he's Japanese.
Yeah.
But that was a Japanese trailer.
A classic Japanese tagline.
I tell you what, though, now you go back and watch that, like when he lifts his goggles and he says something.
Yeah.
With Kiefer Sutherland's voice. It's
Is
like
it
the
gonna be
creepiest thing in the world.
Him in the?
Yeah. It's really creepy because he like lifts his goggles and he says Snake's like classic catchphrase, "Kept you waiting, huh?" But it's Kiefer Sutherland just kind of like saying it.
He should be saying its classic 24 catchphrase.
What is that? Like, I'm gonna torture you.
Gotta get the bomb,
Uh,
or it's the sandwich is done.
Running out of time.
The pizza is ready.
We only have 24 hours.
Speaking of stuff that has nothing to do with the poll, let's move on over to the poll, which has to do with day one launch titles for the next generation consoles. What launch title are you getting when you get your console, if you're getting it day one?
Yes, and a lot of people didn't seem to understand this because we had a lot of people say PS4.
Oh, they don't understand.
I think just people don't know what maybe we use too much of like an industry term, a launch title.
Everybody knows what a launch title is.
Apparently
Yeah.
not then, I guess. I don't know.
But
I
anyway,
guess casual people didn't get it.
we did have some answers though. In third place we have Knack.
Wow.
That's the PS4 game they show with the little guy that can like has particle effects.
Yeah.
All right.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that there was that much interest around it. I'm still like totally not convinced. Personally, I'm not getting it with my PS4.
It looks like a goofy platformer, like any kind of Ratchet and Clank kind of game, you know. Doesn't look.
Not
It
as
looks
good.
like a fun game for kids. It looks like it's trying to just show off their particle effects.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But
Now,
maybe I'll give it a shot.
In second place we have Dead Rising 3.
Yes, that is the reason I'm getting a PS4 day one. I immediately regret it because of Dead Rising 3 because it looks awesome.
That's Xbox then, obviously.
Yeah.
It's so far like it hasn't like I'm not interested, but the tablet interaction is pretty cool. How you can like go
It's
on
your phone,
tablet.
right?
Yeah, you do stuff on your tablet and things happen in the game.
That's pretty cool. And then in first place we have it was Watch Dogs, but obviously we know that's no longer a launch title. Now it's Minecraft and Killzone Shadowfall.
Minecraft.
You know what?
What are
Yeah,
they talking
it's fun.
about?
A lot of people are just excited to play it again on a console. I don't know. I was talking
Wait,
to
Minecraft is already on consoles.
friend of the show, Andrew. He's really hyped to get Minecraft on his PS4 for some reason. It's going to be exactly the same. It's still not going to be the PC version. I don't get it.
That's really stupid.
And I mean,
Interesting.
Killzone Shadowfall, I'm getting it because that's like the big PS4 game, so that's cool. I still honestly don't know that much about it or whether it's going to be good. But
I don't know if it's a
shooting things is cool.
I don't know if it's a launch title, but the new Oddworld game is coming out for PS4 soon.
Yeah, that's going to be eventually
The reboot of the first one.
new and tasty.
But that was last week's poll question. This week's poll question is, with Blockbuster officially shutting down all stores by 2014, the online service, everything is done, what was the equivalent of Blockbuster to you when you were younger? If you didn't have Blockbuster, did you have another franchise? Did you have another chain? Did you have a mom and pop shop? Let us know what your video store was called. Where did you go to get movies when you were younger? Click the link in the info to go to facebook.com/prettymuchit and vote in the poll. And it's less of a vote in the poll sort of thing as it is. We'll just go through some of the names. But let us know. Let's reminisce about the good old days. And now we never have to leave our homes to find movies. And yeah, I'm looking forward to spending more time on my couch, watching movies and watching Pretty Much It, because guess what? This is the end of Pretty Much It, today's episode, and I'm going to watch it on my couch.
I love the future. Future's great.
Now, speaking of the future, guess what you're going to do in the near future, viewer? You're going to go from this, if you want to us talking about the trailers, because we had a couple trailers this week for The Raid, the sequel to The Raid, RoboCop, The Hobbit, all kinds of business.
I'm so
So make
excited.
sure you click the link in the info to check that out. Check us out talking about them trailers. But for now, as far as Pretty Much It goes,
That's the end of the show.
That's
How the
That's-
show ends.
that's pretty much it.